Hello everyone, my name is BlownTyre, and today I'd like to talk you through my racetrack, the Zancudo Zinger. So this is a racetrack based in Fort Zancudo, and what I'm going to be doing is showing you the track, talking through what corners are key on the track, and also sort of how I think the track should be raced. So to start off, this is the start-finish line. It's a relatively short, start-finish straight. As you can see, it's based in the sort of barracks area of the military base. Let's have a look at turn one. Turn one is a fast left-hander. It's You've got to be very careful because even though this is when you start, well, actually before you even start, it looks quite open, but however when you get there it's actually quite tight. So it's a odd looking corner. This leads straight onto turn two. Turn two is, as you can see here, is coming in. It does not look justice when you actually start driving it. It's effectively a blind entry. You turn in and you've got to somehow get your car over to the left hand side to get the best exit. The track turns slightly left, as you can see beforehand, so it's a little bit harder to get on fully to the left. You may have to compromise the first turn to maximise your entry and exit into turn two. However, it is perfectly up to you however you want to drive this. There is a prop on the outside to prevent the lamppost getting knocked over. This is actually quite tight, even though it looks quite open. You don't want to take too much and run too far over onto the grass because obviously you'll hit this. There may be, if you're precise enough and you've got a relatively narrow car, you may be able to fit it through this gap and then sort of slide on. However, it's not going to be quicker than sort of slowing up and easing onto the tarmac. Turn 3, as you can see here, is a kink flat out in a supercar, and then this is another flat out corner. This I recommend trying to get a little bit of curb on. As much as you can is beneficial, but you need to bear in mind two things. One, there's a barrier here protecting this lamppost, and two, you want to try and keep the car as stable as possible. If you run wide, there is a little gap here which you can go around and carry on. To get the optimum line, you should try and get two wheels sort of peeking over this line here. That is an optimum line in my opinion. However, obviously sometimes it may not be beneficial because it is a very risky line due to this barrier being here. So yeah, just need to bear that in mind. But this corner is, if you get this right, you get a very good run down this short straight into this 90 right. There are barriers on the outside to prevent you from getting boosts on these sort of yellow strips. This runs out sort of just after the corner. However, if you're planning to take those lines, you're gonna lose your optimum time and optimum lines towards the end of the straight. This is a basic 90 right. You've got space here for an overtake into the corner, and you've got space for an overtake out of the corner as well, so there's no need to worry about if there is any room, unlike on some parts of this track. So as we go down this straight towards turn 6, and as well as turn 7 and turn 8. So turn 6 is quite tight. This used to be, when I initially did this used to be just a left-hander leading on to the left-hander there. However, I decided to tighten this by adding a selection of barriers to act as sort of a chicane-ish sort of zone. This is a good overtaking spot. You need to be a bit cautious on the way in, obviously, because there's a wall on the outside. However, that should not cause much of a problem, and also the barriers are coming into the track. That needs to also be bearing in mind when you go for an overtake. Remember to give each other car's width. Turn 7 is not really a turn, but it's just sort of to effectively tighten this section up. You just need to be careful not to run a bit too wide here, otherwise you're going to compromise yourself through here and onto here. Turn 8 is a flat in a supercar, and if you get the line right, is flat out. You don't want to run too wide because this bit will slow you down. Exit is key, very crucial on this straight, because it's the longest straight on the track, and it is a really long straight, as you can see. It goes all the way down. There's a checkpoint here as well. So we've only done 8 turns now into turn 9 and 10. As you can see here, there's a left-hander. This is 2 cars wide. This is a good overtaking spot. There is a slight, you've got to be quite careful because there is an ever so slight curve on the braking zone. My favourite line is to run sort of here and then straight line the braking zone. Makes the braking zone a lot easier if you've got the car in a straight line. You want to get the car turned in, but not too much. You can afford to take a bit more speed than what the checkpoint makes it seem like. Just need to be wary about these bollards here and here, and also the fact that there is a wall and a building. Same sort of corner, but a little bit tighter for checkpoint 11, turn 10. You want to just make sure you get as good of an exit as possible, because all this section up to the sort of towards the last bit of the lap is about flow and keeping up as high of a speed as possible. And as you can see here, checkpoint 12 is a right-hander tighter. You don't want to run too wide onto here. This will slow you down. You just need to bear in mind that there are airport runway lights here. Sometimes it will hinder your speed. Sometimes it will greatly increase your speed if you run over it correctly. It acts kind of like a curb boost. Just bear that in mind. Checkpoint 13 is just a flat right, not much of a problem in a supercar. Checkpoints 14 and 15, these are in supercars flat if you get the line right and if the cars aren't damaged. Need to be cautious always that there is catch fencing on the outside, and if you just need to be reminded that if you do hit that, it could go over the track. It's not as likely as here, hence the barriers, but you just need to bear that in mind that that could happen. However, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Checkpoint 16, as you've just seen, is a tighter, is the first of the real sort of left-right sections, sort of a Monaco-esque style. Hate using that. I know it's sort of a street style, but it's very tight, requires a lot of precision and a lot of care. As you can see here, there are barriers on the outside, as I just mentioned, to prevent this the fences from falling over. These are as level as possible. Some may be a slight issue, so don't just try and drive right next to them because you will get spun out. You just need to give them a bit of a wide berth. Checkpoint 17, turn 16 is another 90 degree corner, but this time it's another left-hander as well. So this is, bear in mind, there's now a proper wall here, so you need to bear that in mind. Same sort of philosophy, just a tiny bit narrower. This is perhaps the tightest corner on the circuit, these last two anyway. This corner here is already the ideal entry is compromised due to this sort of outbuilding here. You need to be able to get the car settled. Personally, my favourite line is just to get as close as you can to this and sort of straight line and maybe turn slightly out here. The building is the curb, so it's effectively trying to get as close as you can to the building. The hitbox can be a bit iffy, so to be honest, I would try and give it a little bit of a wide berth. I know it's not ideal, however, I'm trying to create a bit more of a street style circuit, hence the closed barriers. I've decided to put barriers here to stop you running wide and also hitting this. It sort of makes you really take care, makes you think about your line. That was turn 17, checkpoint 18. This is a chicane, this simple right left. You can take as much curb as you want either side. Remember, you've got barriers here to sort of prevent you from skipping off here. This is just about making sure you're consistent. You may be the quickest, but if you're trying to hot lap this track or get some sort of qualifying time, this last section will make or break your lap. You could be quick, but you've just got to be precise and and also quite cautious in this last bit. Checkpoint 19 and 20, same sort of thing. Try and get as much as you can on the inside. Remember, on the exit of 20 there are some barriers here to prevent the lamppost from coming down. And the last turn, there is no barrier on the inside, so you can use the dirt actually to try and get the car turned. Remember that there is a wall on the outside and a slight curb, so if you clip that you'll get a nice little boost on the exit and across the line. So I would like to thank you for watching this. If you enjoy the track, bookmark it, play it, put it in whatever playlist you like, use it in events, whatever. If you want to give me any constructive criticism on how I deliver my sort of video, feel free to do that in the comments below. On here as well, if you have any criticism about the track, I either message me on Slack or message me on the forums or on the comments below. Just allows me to improve the track. I would like to thank Nismo for helping me edit this track, as well as Craig 9876 for just mentioning about this sort of problem area and giving me some ideas on how to change the lamppost sort of protection idea. So I would like to thank each and every one of you for watching this video if you've got all the way through, and I hope I can see you out on the racetrack.